Wamish, I don't want to start off souls, but giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honor to the apostles, GMS, and honor to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. This one is inspired by, we're watching Apostle Rhyme Lab's video, basically speaking on, ill-gotten gains, right? Speaking on ill-gotten gains, he brought out two precepts, so I'll bring out later. But it basically made me, I looked up some articles, see what I could, I find whether, Esau's tongue fell upon himself, right? And I couldn't really find much in terms of that particular question, was the wealth of the US gained on spacey was it based off of a theft, right? And the only answer that I really got was this particular article where I believe it's written by, I think, Dinesh here, the one on the left, right? He's he looks like an Elamite, but that last name makes me think he might be D'Souza. So I'm not too sure where he's from, but all I know is he's definitely doing the bidding of the devil, right? So it says, is the wealth of America based on theft, which we know it is, because how was America founded? It was founded off of rape. It was founded off of a murder, right? It was founded off of thievery, on stealing. I mean, look, just think about the land that you're living in at the moment, okay? It says this allegation lies at the heart. Allegation, right? So by saying allegation makes it sound like, oh, some people say it, but it's not necessarily true, okay? Says at the heart of modern progressivism, and provides a justification for government seizure and government redistribution, not only within America but also from America and to the rest of the world. In my film 2016, I showed how Obama's anti-colonialism presumes that the West grew rich by conquering other countries and stealing their resources, which it says this theft critique has now been incorporated and expanded into a systematic progressive critique of America, right? And that is that is the truth. You look at the history, you look at the people that went over to the Americas. That is how they got the land. It says, according to this critique, America was founded in an original act of piracy. The early settlers stole the country from the Native Americans, true. Then America was built by theft. White Americans stole the labor of African Americans by enslaving them for 250 years. The borders of America were also extended by theft. America stole half of Mexico in the Mexican War. Moreover, American foreign policy is, from the progressive point of view, based on theft, because America only invades countries like Iraq, which have oil, while it never invades resource poor countries like Haiti or Rwanda, right? And that is true, because you think about, there were no real cries for all of them Yemenis getting bombed out there at the moment, right? Allegations of war crimes, right? All of these different things. There wasn't an intervention over there in Yemen, as there would have been if the same things were happening, say Iraq or say Saudi Arabia, which Saudi Arabia is an ally. Just thinking that another country which has a lot of resources. Oh, well, look at what they've done to Venezuela, right? Why? Because at the end of the day, they want them resources. Hey, Trump said it. He said we should have kept the oil. Okay. Says finally, capitalism is theft because it confers unjust profits on the few while depriving the majority of Americans of what Obama calls their fair share. So this is a powerful critique which is seemingly rests on premises that cannot be disputed, etc., etc., etc. He talks a lot of rubbish. So I'm just seeing what else we could, because he speaks on these opinion pieces, right? And then what do you call it? Then you got this whitewashing here, right, of history. So from the beginning, the American founding represented an alternative to the conquest ethic. America represented the ethic of consent and equal right and wealth creation. We can see this in the example of slavery. Slavery was a universal expression of the conquest ethic. There was slavery in China, in India, in ancient Greece and Rome. All over Africa, Native Americans had slaves long before Columbus got it. So basically, say, well, but that other people had it. But look, man, what these demons care to forget is if you touch an apple of the Lord's eye, you go and have to pay for that, right? Let's grab that. Right, so Zechariah 2:8, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, right? For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. Okay? So for these nations touching the children of Israel, you messed up because you're touching the apple of the Lord's eye, right? All of that free labor you got by enslaving the Lord's chosen, right? So you will get judged for that. Okay, this is Isaiah 14, right? From the top it says, for he will no, from verse 2, right? It says, and the people shall take them and bring them, so the Israelites, right, shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. So yeah, you can say that uniquely a Western ideology of not of quote ending slavery, which that never actually happened, right? All that happened was a transferal of ownership of this slaves to a more efficient system, right? Because if you're a slave master, you have to provide your slaves food, you have to provide them clothes, you have to provide them shelter, right? However, in this form of slavery, right, the slaves go out and they fend for themselves, whilst the profits thereof still goes all the way back up. Okay, it says and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So we go on rule over all of these different nations that we've been that we've been conquered by, right? That we've been conquered by. Is that what I say? Yeah. Well, this is what's uniquely Western. It's not slavery, but the abolition of slavery, right? So then now they start going into into all different manners of BS, right? Let me just grab one more precept just on that particular point. What was that? Right, this is Exodus 21:16 says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. And we're still found in your hands, Esau. And how do we know that? Because the curses say that we would be. These curses say that, and we shall go to this man for one of all things, because he's the ruler over us at the moment, right? But his time is almost up, and our prison sentence is almost done, right? And all of that wealth that has been generated, right, that has given you the power that scriptures talk about with thy traffic. What was that? Ezekiel? Let me grab that real quick. Ezekiel 28th chapter. Right, so Ezekiel 28:5, it says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, right, thy trade, right, hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches, right? So by the wisdom the Most High gave him, run by the traffic, has thou increased his riches. So he's gotten richer from the fact that he was rich. But how did America get that head start? Right, by thievery, right, by thieving the land first and foremost, by then expanding the land illegally, right, by thieving more land, right, and then by stealing groups of people from all over the world, right, to come under the Israelites, let's put it that way, right, it's by stealing the Israelites, from their own land and bringing them into your land to work for free. Okay. So then, what do you call it? There was also this word here that rather, I don't know what you say, phrase, or right, ill-gotten gains that Apostle Rhymer spoke on, right? It says ill-gotten gains are things that someone has obtained in a dishonest or illegal way. So how was America got? Just the fact that you're in that land, period, right? And that's a shame unto you. Scriptures talk about shameful spirit, and that's why over some you're having all of those different things happening, right? This Confederate statue, that Confederate, which, in my personal opinion, that's all controlled BS, because whether it's Confederate or not, them statues are of Edomite devils. I really have no issue with you being in slavery, man. Right? You look at what was it? Was it Abraham Lincoln? Whoever it is that they say abolished slavery. Right? When you actually read the notes, what did he say? He said, if I could keep the Union without ending slavery, then I wouldn't then I wouldn't end slavery. He didn't care, right? So it says ill-gotten gains are things that someone has obtained in a dishonest or illegal way, right? So this is James 5:1. It says, "Go to now, you rich men, I weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten." So the riches that this devil has got for himself are corrupted, man. They're corrupt riches. They're not riches that have been obtained righteously, right? And that's why his kingdom is going down as we speak, right? It's gonna end on this. Gonna get back to the job. Right, Sirach 10:8 says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So you think about the unrighteous dealings that this man has participated in, right? Let's say, whoa, it's Habakkuk 2:12. It says, "Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity." And once again, you ask yourself, how was America founded? It was founded on blood, right? It was founded on thievery. It was founded on iniquity. It was founded on sin. You read Isaiah the 47th chapter. It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments, and that Paris, for that thou hast labored from thy youth," basically from the inception of America, right? All witchcraft, right? So that's this man's legacy, right? So because of back in Sirach 10:8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, right? So because you've done all this, right, your kingdom's going down, right? Because the kingdom wasn't established on righteousness. It's not like the kingdom of Israel. It's like, yeah, read Isaiah 45:17 says, "Kingdom of Israel shall be a kingdom forever." Okay. So as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. To the next time. Shalom.